Reminder, any action items we have to have.
Oh, was it?
The majority of people.
I mean, you can play all.
No, it's written.
Okay, 6 o'clock, we're gonna start. Should we do?
Yes, we could do that.
Okay.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, so first up, obviously, we have no president or vice president, and
Chair, vice chair.
yeah, excuse me. And the way we looked this up is that anybody can lead the meeting. It just has to be a unanimous consent by the board.
So I would make a motion that Marcia Goddard be the chair tonight, since you were sitting in that position.
Second.
We have a vote?
Discussion.
Or discussion, yeah. Hearing none, all those in favor? Aye?
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? Okay, motion
Welcome to
carried.
chair.
Yay. For one meeting, that's it.
Well, you can't say that. You never know that.
Okay, so roll call, we have 3 missing tonight, which we knew about. And next, any additions or exceptions to the agenda?
So, Madam Chair, I would like to talk about adding an additional funding request application that we had from the SPED department for an assistant coach for our Special Olympics. This is not funded through general funds, it's funded through 611 grant. It is a great example of the new process that we have. We have 2 options. We can leave it as a discussion item and make it an action item for September, or we could put it as an action item tonight. But it is a great example of the new process to approve new positions or extra funding. So what would the board wish to do with this?
Mr. Osby, I would like to see it become an action item so you can speak to it, please.
Okay. So you would have to
We need a motion.
need a motion to
First. Okay, so we need a motion to add this additional education funding request application to the, I guess, item C under action items tonight.
So moved. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Okay, motion carried. All right, so next we need a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Okay.
Second.
Again, we have Dave and Reed. Any discussion on the consent agenda tonight? I'm hearing none. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those who oppose? Motion carried. Okay, brings us into our action items. The first one is the, Reed went over this really well at the work session on Wednesday. So this will be the updated template that we'll use for the PLC evaluations, and we would hope to start this at our next meeting. And we would like to do it during the work sessions, I guess, starting next September. Yes. So I need a motion, I guess, to approve this new Leadership Governance Board PLC eval template.
Motion to approve the Leadership Governance PLC eval template.
It's a motion, Katie.
Second.
Second here. Although discussion from anyone.
So,
Yes.
Mr. Chairman, 4 questions, and that's what that template is, just these 4 questions. Okay, just want to be sure for the listeners. Yeah, correct.
There was more to just the template. We talked about like when we would do it during the work session, and I don't know if we need to establish time limits and any
Right.
other rules.
We did talk about doing that right at the beginning of the work session, so we get this done and keeping it within that, like 15 minutes, was that what we said time
I think
frame?
the target
thought that we
goal was
put-
15, but depending on, the length of the discussion and where we go. But if I remember, the prioritize is to intentionally make sure it happens at the beginning of every work session.
That was the priority, yeah. And I think maybe the time limit was not as critical. We're gonna try and test it out
Yeah.
and see how
So Ray, explain this. We're gonna go for one policy.
one leadership governance policy at each work session. And there's 21 of them.
So a year's worth of work.
Yeah, so there's, depending on how intense they are, we could probably bang a couple of them out, depending. But to begin with, we're gonna start with an easy one, and we're gonna see how we do.
Perfect. Thank you.
Any more discussion on that? It was a really great presentation, Reed. Thank you for all your time. It was great. You're the king of PowerPoints. It was good. Yeah. Okay, and so we need, if there's no more discussion, we need a vote on that. So all those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those who oppose? Motion carried.
So Madam Chair, just kudos to you as a Board of Trustees with the work you did with Mitch in beginning this process. And one of the discussion items is actually creating an additional leadership governance policy at the end. I want to say it's 215 that really establishes that too. So kudos to you as a board.
Okay, our next action item would be to possibly see if we could change the work session for September. My understanding is there is a conflict because it's not Mountain Camp, but Camp Roberts. Camp Roberts, yes. And we're hoping to do it not on the Wednesday, but Tuesday.
Which should be September 2nd.
Okay.
So I'll make a motion to reschedule the work session in September of 2025 to September 2nd, starting at 5:15.
Second?
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion?
And I think the purpose of that, Marcia, is to get as many board members here as we can get.
I do
They
believe
will, and that
your
will be my
evaluations.
evaluation.
Yes.
That was going to be this month, which will be the next month.
So come prepared for that. Okay, if there's any discussion on that, no more discussion? Okay, if I can get a motion, excuse me, we can vote. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those who oppose? Motion passed. Okay, so next on here, action item, I will need a motion to approve the additional education funding request.
For an assistant coach for the Special Olympics.
So moved.
Get a second?
Second.
Motion and second. Any discussion?
So Charles, can you explain that to us?
So this is the new process. So Mr. Anderson did a great job of filling out this request form, this new one. So he met with Connie. It's through federal funds that this funding for this assistant coach for Special Olympics will take place. It went through the proper channels and is here to you tonight. So it is for an assistant coach's position. But it is funded through federal funds 611, correct, Craig and Connie? So it is followed the chain of command, and it's in front of you tonight.
Charles, has that position, do you have someone to fill that position, or are you going
We'll
to
advertise after tonight.
You'll advertise.
I do have one question on this one too. So is this something that we will do every year, or is this a one-time?
I think it's probably to be determined.
Okay.
I guess just kind of going back, and it was before me, we used to have and I'm just going to say special ed team. We have a group of students that qualify for that. come together and they go to Special Olympics. 2 or 3 years ago, we made a transition to what's called a unified team. So that incorporates students with disabilities as well as their non-disabled peers. So it really promotes that inclusivity that we're really looking for. And so I believe, as I talked to Kelsey Warren, who's our current Special Olympics coach, they do some bocce ball. I don't know how many of you guys have ever played bocce ball, but it's an amazing game. I'm not very good at it, along with a lot of things. But they're going to use, typically it's been using high school peer, kind of almost like a mentor type of a thing. This is going to be same age peer. So if we have a 4th grader that has a disability, we'll have a 4th grade-ish peer that will partner with them. So really brings, I think, a really cool element to that. But with that, when you have 7 to 9 students with disabilities involved, and now you have a peer for each one, we're doubling the size of the team. And actually, her projection is up to like 13 or 14 students and peers. So we could be pushing 30 kids. And with adding more kids, we're talking needing additional adult support. So that's the gist of it.
Hearing none, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those who oppose? Motion carries. Okay, next up are the principal reports. Are there any questions from the board?
So yeah, Madam Chair, if there's questions from our leadership that's here today, we will start spotlighting in September like we traditionally do. But yeah, any questions from the board or any of our leadership team here today that would like to present some specific highlights to the start of the year? So we're open to discussion.
So I was just gonna comment on Mr. Evans. He's using AI because I know he didn't find a cabin where it was snowing at last month, unless he went to Alaska. So anyhow, great report, Jake.
Thank you. There's a couple pieces I'd like to point out in that report. One in particular is that BHS's coaches collective core value statement. And I thought that was a pretty cool piece that the head coaches put together for that. Their core value statement, I think, kind of speaks to what it strives to be a Buffalo Bison, which is Bison will strive to be their best through integrity, accountability, resilience, and belief. And I think those are really good 4 core values. And if you'll notice, several of them mimic what we have up here behind us on the board. So I kind of point out that that group is kind of the spear tip, as you will, to driving culture and unified culture at BHS. So really proud of that group.
I just also wanted to say congratulations and kudos on your parent-backed fall sports meeting. I felt like, as a parent and somebody who's on the inside listening to all this stuff, it felt really good, really well, and it wasn't 13 hours long also, so that was super great. But I felt like it was like very informative, and parents and kids all left very comfortable with like where we're at and where the athletic team is coming from. So I thought that was great.
Thank you. Thank you for pointing out that teamwork, because it's going to take a team to move forward, and it's going to be great to work together, unified in our key specific areas.
I would say like the just kind of feedback from parents was certainly coming from a place of over the last couple years we've preached a lot about chain of command and things like that, and I felt culturally speaking a lot of parents felt really good with being able to speak to anyone on that team about concerns, questions, things like that. So I just felt like the broadened spectrum was super helpful, especially to incoming freshman parents. So I thought it went great.
I would agree, as an incoming freshman parent, it was really good, Jake, and not like super long, but just like down and dirty, give me what I need to know, and it was good.
Thank you.
Madam Chair, I have some questions.
Go ahead.
I started out, I actually had a question for each of you. And I think I'm going to table those questions. I have one question, but it is for everybody, and I wouldn't mind if every single one of you answered. It's tailored to almost all of you, with the exception of Mike, but I'd still like an answer from you. Most of you are either brand new or relatively new to your position in your building. You could be new to your building and your position. So the folks in your schools have been there for a long time, and they've worked very hard to develop systems and relationships. But I know that you guys are coming in with new ideas, and us as the school board is throwing even more new ideas at you. So I guess my question is, what strategies do you have to maintain the, I don't like the word status quo, but I guess a better word would be stability, and what else did I write down? Normality of these relationships that have been there for a while. So how do you balance that stability with the new ideas and new energy that you have, as well as all of the new policy changes and everything else that is getting thrown at you by either us or Mr. Austin? And I don't care what order you go.
I'll take the lead on that. So for BHS, we guide our school with the guiding coalition. So that is shared leadership, and that's a shared leadership vision that I am going to employ at BHS. The other piece is when you transition to a new building and whatnot, a lot of times it's wise to sit down with each staff member, which I have made it to every certified staff member so far, and have visited with them about what's going well and what are their pain points. It's not that you need to make a change, but at least to have their perspective on how things are going. I've also made it to most of the classified staff as well to hold that same conversation, because in a school's house, we know that every single person in the building is a teacher, okay, in some capacity, because they're going to have a relationship with kids. So it's important to include everybody. So that's kind of the steps that I've employed so far at BHS. But I think the big key factor, and I think you'll hear it through the rest of the team, is about that guiding coalition, that it is collective leadership.
I think my overall plan to start off with is to build those positive relationships with the teachers that are there. For me, I have some great relationships already with a lot of the staff, but I also have a good part of the staff that I haven't worked closely with. So the key there is just building that positive relationship and letting them know that I'm there to help them, not to shove anything down their throat per se. So just for them to know that my door's open for them to talk to, but also I'm going to ask for their guidance. So I had a great leader that taught me, which was Jake, who set me up for success in that shared leadership fashion of, it's not what I want, it's what we want. It's not what I need, it's what we need. And so I think that's the key to keep that culture positive. It's just the inclusion part of everyone.
Reed, I would like to address that as well. Here at Clear Creek Middle School, where I can understand where Liz is coming from, where she's been in that building as a teacher and now as an administrator. I was in Clear Creek Middle School for the last 17 years before becoming an administrator. And so those relationships carried through and have been very helpful. But one key piece that I thought was essential to that transition was communication and consistency. The communication needed to happen. It was consistency with that, and building on what we did today as an admin team within our PLC meeting, working with Mitch Kraft. Another one I would add to that is clarity. Understanding what we're doing, why we're doing it, and how we're moving forward. And I think that's been really key with how last year has gone and where we're headed this year, is the clarity and intentionality that we're doing. So that's going to be a big piece for this year, and how we're going to keep getting better with that process.
I'll go next because my situation was so similar to Ron's in that I was very fortunate to work in the building where I became the principal for 16 years prior to taking over as the leader of the building. And so I was very hands-on and familiar with the processes and the systems and the procedures that were in place as I worked on each grade level team. And so I kind of had a sense of what teachers knew was going well and the areas that they all wanted to work on, because I was side by side with them as a teaching team member first. I think that some of the strategies that I have employed and will continue to move forward with are to just really enter any of those situations with teachers and staff and teaching teams with an open mind and genuine curiosity, and to be willing to be open to the ideas that they have for how we want to improve and move forward. And then just in the visions that I have for what I want for our school, to make sure that I'm always offering choice and voice in that process. And so that it's not that like, okay, here's the plan, this is what I want you to do, but like, this is what I'm thinking. Here are some options within those thoughts. Which one excites you? Which one speaks to you? Which one do you think your team can get on board with?
I'm a little different. I'm new to the district. I'm new to the building. I'm new to grade level. The beauty of that is that I can walk into the building with a very humble mindset, and I can listen first and ask lots of questions, and develop that kind of participatory shared leadership vision with my staff as we go. But for me, it's going to be being really intentional about, like, this is time for us to get it right, to really seek to understand each other, not to seek to do things to, but with, right? And so that we're able to move forward together as a team when it's time. Right now, it's a different season. Right now, it's time to be humble. It's time to learn.
Well, it all sounds pretty good. I'll just do what they're doing. I'll answer. I think one of the most important things that we can keep doing is what we have been doing over the last several years as a district, which is getting really solid processes in place. Because people are gonna go at some point, and they're gonna move on to something different, and you can't start from scratch when that happens, and so you have to have a thick enough culture that taking one ingredient out of the equation doesn't change everything up for you. I think we have that at New West. We have some people in different positions this year, so there are some similarities, but I think the things that we've been working on and what we're working toward will just be the things we're emphasizing this year at New West too.
Thank you. Mr. Chair.
Yes.
Mr. Corbin, are you getting the help that you need? Is there anything that we can provide as a board to you?
I am absolutely getting the help that I need. The entire team has been absolutely wonderful, from the other principals to the district office staff to my staff in building. My administrative assistant, Jen Strong, has been invaluable. And I'm just so excited. Like, when I got to school today, I knew kinder camp was happening, and so we went over and saw the new teacher inductions. But I kind of sidled over to Charles. I was like, hey, I got kinder camp coming. Can I go shake some hands and say hi to kids and stuff? And so he let me go do that real quick before we moved on to our PLC work. And the joy in that building is just so cool. And I am so blessed to be there. And I want to thank you all for giving me the opportunity.
Well, I just want to say thank you for accepting this role too. We're very excited to have you on our team. So I hope you enjoy it.
One more thing to add to that, Mr. Corbin. I just wanted to say how exciting it was to see you out at kinder camp this morning. I know several parents in the kindergarten class, and I had no less than 4 people stop me and be like, my kid got to shake Mr. Corbin's hand, mine included. And he saw his dad and was like, Dad, I met the principal, I shook his hand, it was awesome. So it was very cool, and you could just feel the excitement of the teachers and the kids. It was well ran, and it was just fun to be back.
So just on top of that, this admin team was lined up this morning for new teacher induction in the hallway. And as new teachers walked in, it was like, oh, wow. We've had a great start as an admin team. There's a lot of great energy, a lot of support, a lot of questions. So I'm excited for the year just because of the energy that was presented at our first admin meeting. What we've seen, our trainings have been going on pretty steady for almost 2 weeks now. And today was no exception to the rules. As a matter of fact, I think we were behind by an hour and a half on my schedule, just trying to keep things afloat. And you know what? They all had a positive attitude. They all had a smile on their face. And more importantly, they were willing to come to the table with the hard conversations and still leave with the aspect we're going to do what's best for the district. So super excited for the start of the year.
Anything else for our principals? Okay, let's move on to the district ops teams reports. Busy, guys. Looking great too. It is beautiful out there. So, any
So,
questions?
Mr. Zanker, you know, I read your report. Everything's kind of going according to plan, timeline-wise.
Yeah, as I opened it up, I looked at it. I didn't update number 1 on the boiler plant. The boilers are in, and hopefully that they are fluidized this week and tested. So that's one thing I didn't update number 1. Things are starting to come together. I wish it was in another week or 2, but we don't, and the kids are coming whether we're ready or not, and the buildings will be ready for the kids to walk through.
John, we've always had some irrigation problems in the fall. Hopefully we don't, or you don't even want to say that, but I'm hoping we don't. Because the field and stuff look great right now.
We put sod on the hole we had to dig on the football field last week. Had to run to Sheridan to get 80 square feet of sod. Discovered today that we have a main line leak right outside the pump house, and it's about 6 feet down in hard packed gravel. So that was discovered today. We got another leak out there on the practice fields by the building. But it's not going to stop a kid from getting an education. We get a little brown grass, we're here about educating kids. That's my focal point, is the buildings. Athletics comes second in my mind. I'm sorry, I'll say that in public. But we'll be ready for the kids, walk through the front doors.
One final question, John. I think we put a new river screen in down in KC. Is that correct?
It's on order.
It's on order?
Yeah, that'll be, the final check will go out tomorrow for the order. There's some people at Carlisle that have been on vacation. We're hoping that we get everything in place before we have to blow on.
So will that used to do 2 things. It watered the fields, and it also watered the side rolls that are down there. Is that what that's for? Is for both? Or
no, there's no more side rolls. We're full underground irrigation system in KC now. What we're doing is we weren't able to irrigate KC for, 2 weeks because the river was muddy. And when it's muddy, all that, with that old pump in there, we're eating seals out of the pump and packing. Like every other day, we got to change packing in the pump.
So when you say the side rolls are gone and it's underground, what's there now? I've been there, haven't looked at it.
There's underground irrigation just like everywhere else in the district.
So sprinkler system.
Yep, there's no more sprinklers, reels. So
Okay, thank you.
Chair, Bill, I just had one question for you. I know we had a bit of tough time with bus drivers, or just getting bus drivers last year. How is that going? And I know there was one young gentleman from KC that was going to be going up to Buffalo for golf. Has that been figured out?
Okay, so yeah, we tackled that. We sat down and looked at that efficiency with, when we talk, as I speak towards the golf person. It was a question that was asked. At this time, I don't have the human resources to fulfill that, so I threw that back at Liz, and I haven't heard back on that. I believe that they found another
Parents were told that for this to work out, they had to figure out transportation themselves. So they've signed a waiver to transport the student themselves.
We also worked on an expectation or a policy around that, a procedure, so to speak, not policy, excuse me, a procedure about how we tackle that, because that's been a gray area for us over several years with KC coming up. And so for the efficiencies of the departments and things like that, I can share that with you guys and let you look through that at what we arrived at as, you know, the amount of participation we're going to need to make it logistically. So it's not just a one-off to drive up. We also have to look at the other interdisciplines that we have. You know, we have a softball team and that we allow students to go play in Sheridan, but we don't provide transportation, some of those things as well. So we have to look at the whole district level. And then to speak to the celebration is that all the staff is coming back that we had, but we have yet to add some new members. KC, once again, we were just visiting here minutes before the board meeting started, just, you know, racking our brains, going up and down the streets. Hey, what about this guy? What about that guy? You know, maybe and I would like to let it be known that we can be creative. We can maybe have a Monday, Wednesday driver and a Tuesday, Thursday driver, that they don't have to commit every day to that type of environment. You know, we were looking at suburban travel. You know, are these people able to, you know, could we do this task with a suburban, some things like that. We currently have the same routes, and we're ready to do the same routes. We have 3 route drivers dedicated to it. Like I said in the board report earlier in the year, we did have some movement of staff with some other duties now, so the substitute pieces are gone there. We're hoping to bring the substitutes out of Buffalo to go down and substitute on a route so that driver can take the activities as we see fit. I don't feel it's good to send our drivers from here down to take the activities, and then more or less the word I don't want to use is punish those that are already down there and an active part of that transportation piece in KC. I want them to have the opportunity to go on those activities, so then we would fill in from a route side, because that's more structured as well, and we can definitely fulfill those hours. But yeah, we are in desperate need of a driver or drivers or substitutes, anything that we can get in KC right now. You know, and we're willing to, you know, work with anybody and get it going. I would like to let it be known that we're over $20 an hour now just to start with paid training. So you can come to us flat-footed with no credentials, and we can get you in on that system. So it's a pretty lucrative piece, and you know, we also have a lot of opportunity in KC, so there are some hours available. It's not just an hour here and there. So.
Any other questions for any other ops teams?
Can I add one more thing?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I didn't get in my report on celebration, but I just wanted to say kudos to my team and my summer help for this year. Again, without them, we couldn't get it done. Grass is mowed, and they're a crucial part to the team in the summertime, and I'm grateful to have them be able to do that. So.
Again, it looks beautiful. Everything just looks really, really nice. Great job.
Mr. Chairman, I just want to acknowledge the people who made donations of beef to the district, the Collins family and the Geis family, with the price of beef. That's a pretty substantial donation. Thank you to those families.
I do have one more thing. Maybe it's John, I don't know. The crosswalks are all ready painted bright, ready for kids. Is that
Which one?
like for all the places that the kids across the street can go to the?
That's on the city.
Oh, it is. My only thing was
So just on another side note to put out there in Bill's report, did you see there's a coming soon software package that they've been working with, which I'm super excited we'll see over the next couple of months, which will find some efficiencies. So kudos to that work also.
And if anyone's available Thursday, 2 o'clock, we're gonna meet at the Meadowlark Elementary School Library. And we have an in-depth demonstration from that team to my drivers. It's gonna be the first time they see it as well. So if you're interested in see how that works, 2 o'clock Thursday at Meadowlark Elementary Library. If you'd like to stop in and be a part of that, it's a Zoom virtual meeting that we're gonna have with the bus ride CEOs.
So Bill, I'll ask that you send out a calendar invite to the board and district leadership.
Okay.
And work with Mr. Corbin to make sure there's enough seats.
Oh, and by the way, is it okay if I use the?
Because I was going Thursday. Is John aware of that?
2 weeks prior with the.
It's on my calendar, you're good.
I believe I'm on the calendar, right? Jen took care of me today. Thank you.
All right. That's
All right.
like a little humor.
Doors are locked.
There are no more questions. We can move on to the district admin reports.
Hey, Madam Chair, do you have any questions for the district admin?
I have a question for Samantha.
Yeah, I can speak on that.
This is what she said verbatim. And I'm trying, I mean, I did figure out what she said, but she said she was advocating for this, this app thing that will help make videos clearer and stuff, and I think advocating for herself as one of the avatars in that. But she says, taking are the UMs and the ahs from video. I think she meant taking out the ums and the ahs.
Because it's amazing how AI is not exactly
Yeah.
perfect chat. We're gonna have a meeting tomorrow.
That's what I was gonna say. Make her be a little more clear.
Yeah, we have to work on vocabulary, which we learned out in summer literacy last week.
So, I just want to highlight a few things. The Light of Hope celebration, where Johnson County School District number 1 is going to be, was even in the running for the 2025 Champion of Children Award, is pretty exciting. So the fact we received it, we will work with them to have 2 tables, but that's huge, especially with the work we've been doing to collaborate with the community. So kudos to this board and kudos to this administrative team to be honored. And I think it's a great honor to be recognized as the 2025 Champions of Children, September 26th, if you please mark your calendars. And then it might only be in some of our wheelhouses, but the fact is when you get that official notification that you're fully accredited, that's huge. And I guess it comes in a way that when Dr. Miller and I started this journey 4 years ago, corrective action plan after corrective action plan, nobody really knowing what the accreditation process is. So that's a celebration to this board and to, again, this leadership team. So continuing with that is exciting. Craig, our special ed director, is going to sign autographs afterwards and admin spotlight that we're doing, try to celebrate what that looks like. So excited about a lot of great things happening in the district. You guys heard a lot of things at the work session last week with public comment. One thing after another that happened with all the positive things, from compliments to John and his team to what we're seeing with the ops teams and around the district. So kudos to you as a board of trustees. So want to make sure those highlights made the presentation here tonight.
May I add, just on my report, I just want to thank John and Bill and Christy and the business office. They were all at our new teacher induction today, and they're busy trying to get school ready, of course, just like everybody else, but they took time to speak with our new teachers, so I really appreciate them. Our principals, every single one of them, and Liz and I are going to film too, but they're also adding to the new teacher induction by filming strategies. You might see that for a video report for next month, but they took time out of that. So everybody's working their tails off to make this year a great start, and just want to highlight that. Also, it's data season. We got our preliminary accountability on Friday, so hopefully here in the next day or two, once this phase is over, we can start doing a deep dive within our school's data. So that's coming up pretty quickly. So it's a busy time of year, but a great time of year.
And that data will be released on August 28th to the public. So it's right now just a review for leadership.
We received our county check today. Last year we got $400,000 in August, and this year we got over $1 million. An increase of $630,000 from last year at this time. So again, no trends. It's all over the place.
Who was that from, Connie?
County. That's our county check. So yeah.
So
more's better.
Interesting. So what, a huge increase. What's the, don't know what the reason is?
No.
But you'll take it.
Because they gave refunds. You know, because you got 25% off of your
Property
taxes.
tax.
And so they've been giving refunds, and so I am shocked. So we received $200,000 more last month than we did in 2024. So
So, Madam Chair,
no, we still get the same amount of guarantee. It's just we're getting it from the county and not from the.
So yeah, so I'd like to point that out. That doesn't mean our budget went up or we have more revenues to spend. It's still, we're only guaranteed a certain amount of money. It all goes back to the state.
No.
Anything else from the board? Okay, moving on to our board level reports. OCs.
Yes. We did have a meeting in July. Real brief meeting, but they hired another business manager, so hopefully we're moving there. Talked about the concealed carry law and how it's impacting different schools. I didn't realize this. I did know it, but I didn't realize it, that how it's impacting our school district is different than how it impacts like BOCES because of the department that it's under. BOCES is not under the Department of Ed, it's under the Department of Health. So evidently that makes a difference.
In what way, Mr. Anderson?
Basically, I think the BOCES can prevent people from coming on property with a
Concealed.
firearm. Yeah, that's what I took.
Because it's private, not public.
Department of Health. It's not private. It's still public, and it's just a different department. So yeah, it was really interesting.
Apparently, it's not healthy.
Apparently, there'd be a reason you wouldn't want someone to carry a firearm into your establishment. Anyhow, I won't go into my biases, but there's something I didn't realize until I got on this board was that there's 3 actual programs in BOCES. There's the main program in Gillette, which includes a residential but also has a day program. There's a day program in Sheridan, and then there's a day program in Cheyenne. And the program in Cheyenne just recently purchased a building, and they're in the process of moving into it at this point. And then just enrollment, it did a little enrollment report, which, yeah, it's interesting when I look at the invoices and things like that. And I know as the special ed director how much we pay to BOCES. It was interesting how much we pay versus how much others pay, but I won't go into trivial things with you. So, but anyway, that's the BOCES.
OTs.
apparently they had a meeting, but they did not notify me,
It
so.
was 5 minutes in length, and the next one's here, and they're gonna elect officers, but nothing substantial was at the meeting.
For the rec board, we meet tomorrow night. We didn't meet in July. So. Okay, so that brings us to other business from the board.
So I just want to thank all the staff for coming back, the admin, everybody for the start of school. Glad to see everybody back. Appreciate it.
Right, so B, we changed that, we went over that already, so it'll actually be September 2nd for the special meeting work session. And is that here?
It is here, and then the board meeting's in KC.
All right, so the board meeting will be in KC on the 8th of September. And what time do we leave from here? 5? 5 o'clock. Okay, so 5 o'clock, if you're riding the bus, that's what time we'll leave. All right, next up, public comment. Is there any public comment tonight? Awesome. Seeing none, I would entertain a motion to move into executive session for Wyoming Statute 16-4-5 AII. David and Kate. Okay, any discussion? None? All in favor? Say aye.
Aye.
All those who oppose? Okay. I don't know if anyone wants a 5-minute break, but I think we can probably hammer it through.
Yes.